Hello and welcome to this week's tips and tricks. This week we'll be covering the Siren Strand's map summoning meta. So let's jump right into the video, starting with A point and baby creatures, obviously. On A point, mostly you want to be summoning a Cerberus or a Cyclops, but I would go with Cerberus because it provides extra vision in your backline, which can be upgraded to a adult Cerberus, which will give you vision directly over your C point and B point later game. On your B point, I would either be summoning a Bloomer or a Cyclops. If you're going to be pushing D hard to try and contest D, I would summon a Bloomer. But if you're just going to rotate and fix on your rotations, I would summon a Cyclops to build that wall, so then you don't have to worry about people sneaking in behind your backline unless they've got a Sven, and then it's kind of like meh. So I would either summon a Bloomer or a Cyclops on this point. C point is kind of an interesting one because you're either going to be summoning a Cerberus, a Bloomer, or a Cyclops. I would summon a Bloomer if you're going to constantly be pushing C. I would summon a Cerberus if they got a Sven or someone that can jump over a Cyclops wall. And I would summon a Cyclops if they haven't got any of that and you plan to be pushing D. But just remember to keep on checking on C because there's actually no Cerberus there until you upgraded A. So you want to be upgrading A as soon as possible if you've got a Bloomer or a Cyclops on that point. On D point, I recommend summoning a Bloomer or a Cerberus, mostly because a Cyclops doesn't offer you too much on this, unless you want to funnel them off the stairs and keep them away from the stairs, so they are viable, but I don't really particularly enjoy summoning a Cyclops on D. It's either a Bloomer or a Cerberus, mostly because a Bloomer would offer you sustain in fights around that area if you're constantly just fighting. Now moving on to the Clash upgrades. These upgrades will benefit you in Clash and before Clash, but just remember what you want to be upgrading first, and then second, and then third, and then what you want to be upgrading in Clash and stuff like that. Moving on to A point upgrades. So I recommend summoning a Cerberus, a Bloomer, or a Cyclops on this point. A Cyclops is pretty good on this point as it blocks one passageway and it stops you from being rushed from the left hand side. But a Bloomer offers you sustain to fall back on if you're constantly just pushing D. A Cerberus will offer you vision over D, which is really central if you want to see rotations around the map. But most teams will go into Clash with a Cerberus, so they've upgraded A from pre-Clash to an adult Cerberus, just so they can see their backline and their sidelines. Now jumping right back to B for Clash. At B, I would summon a Cerberus or a Cyclops. Depends what you've gone for mostly before pre-Clash, so if you're going for more of a Cyclops, you probably want to put a Cyclops to block off the point between their F and your B, as well as you want to... It's kind of hit and miss with this point, because to be honest, it's kind of flawed because the Cyclops wall doesn't actually meet properly, so you can actually walk around it. But with a Cerberus, you can actually see what's going on, and it gives you more vision over the far side of your map, so you can see their rotation. So I would say a Cerberus is more better on this point, unless you're going for like a Yeti Cyclops. This will give you more slows to slow them down in the back line, so while they're trying to get round to your Guardian. Point scene, most of the time you're going to have either a Bloomer or a Cyclops. Either, it doesn't really matter. A Cyclops will stop them jumping over, getting around your creatures and so forth. Ice Yeti can be better and is a lot more viable on this point, I would say, if you've got 3 focus, that is. A Bloomer is really strong initiation from rotating through to their E and F points, so if you like to have your Bloomer for there, just to heal up, run, poke those points, get back. But if the enemy team's got like a Sven, you might want to summon some like Cerberus or a Drake or something. But it's kind of hit and miss because they're going to be in and out your base anyway. Now moving on to the D point. This is the only point you can more or less summon every creature and get away with it. So a Bloomer will give you more push potential into the enemy's side. A Cyclops will block off the passageway into D and mostly funnel them around the front way and the back way from your side. A Cerberus will give you vision more or less across the whole map, their G and their E, so keep that in mind. A Storm Drake will offer you siege potential. This calls for more control over the point, so you know you're contesting the point and you're stomping more or less. But if they've got an Imani with an Ashling, keep that in mind. Either that with a HK, they can just chuck an AI in and then just burst these Drake down really fast. So you've got to be on top of that situation. When it comes to a Cerberus on this point, remember a Shadow Cerb would probably be the best option on this point, mostly because it gives the benefits of the invisibility and the warping, so delaying the enemy is always handy. If you like this summoning meta for Siren Strands, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, and if you want to know more about guides or have any questions, feel free to drop them below and I will try and get back to you as soon as possible, and I will take the guide recommendations into account, as I'm always interested in guides and finding out more and understanding more about the game and bringing it to you guys.